mini bike update for the J15 page. I have another page called Mower Bros. I put a lot of stuff on there, but J15 Motorsports, we're back in the game for right now. We have a few races. We actually have one race left in the season. We did one in early June. I really wasn't looking for races. It was just kind of getting my footing on the whole mini bike race scene. And I'm going to give you an update. What do we got going on, essentially? Where the channel is going and stuff of that nature. These are the two bikes. I'm going to go over the one bike really quickly. This is now the trail bike. This was the bike I was racing with, but I'm not going to race with it anymore. The Ct200u doesn't really make a great race bike. The frame is really solid. There's no suspension on it. It's just a really rough ride because of how big the wheels are and how bulky it is. Turning around sharp corners is almost impossible for me. I'm just not very comfortable on the bike. This bike gets up to about 38 miles an hour. AR Sports exhaust, stage 1, jetted carb, zip tie the governor, and that's really it. So 38 is what we're getting out of this. Almost 40 down, probably about 40 downhill. So my girlfriend's bike, she doesn't really race, but we've been using this on the trail too. This is getting a front suspension kit from Coleman and maybe some valve springs, and then I'm going to adjust the governor, take that zip tie off and just adjust it for some RPMs, get it back down to 4,500 RPM, put some decent oil in it, and that way I can hopefully have this motor for as long as possible, even though there is engine damage to this motor already. I have really messed this motor up, but you live and learn. First mini bike, and she's still running, purring, she's alright, but there's some minor things that we did to it. Breaking it in, we broke it in wrong, and it just, you want to use a good oil, you want to be able to change the oil, and I didn't do that. I used a full synthetic oil, like car or motor oil, which you're not supposed to do, and I didn't drain the oil after a certain amount of hours. I ran the same oil, it started knocking really loud. I heard something go ping, and I heard something in the crankcase. I ended up draining all the oil, tons of metal shavings, and I ended up putting a bunch of Lucas oil stabilizer in it with a little bit of what the oil is supposed to do. Ran it for a little bit, and then I drained it, and then I ran it again, flushed it out with more oil, and then after I did that, we just filled it with what it was recommended to have, and I drove it around the yard. There's still a slight knock, and then it went away. So I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like a spring. I don't know if you could break like I don't know. I don't know what it was, honestly. I don't want to make assumptions because it's gonna sound dumb. But yeah, this was the race bike that you saw in that video. If you haven't seen the video, go to the Leroy mini bike race video. A few guys there. Hopefully we're gonna have some more of those. So if you're interested in that, hopefully 2024 we'll have some more of those. As well as a few other races. One in Champion, maybe Champion Speedway in Oswego, however you say it. There's a few in PA that we'd like to go to, and then there's one this Sunday I'm going to try to get footage for at Franklin County up in Morelena, or however you say it. This is a 105cc Mega Moto, pretty much. It's an off-brand Mega Moto from Amazon. This bike will be the new race bike. As you can see, I have it all numbered up. This is a little bike. Compared to this bike, you can maybe put them together. A much smaller bike. Way better handling for one. Lighter with me on it as well. I'm 150. This bike's probably maybe 110 pounds, maybe. I don't know. I have to check the specs. The only thing that's holding this bike back is the motor that's on it, which is this little 105. I zip tied the governor on this, put a few holes in the airbox, put a hole in the muffler to get better airflow. There's a little plate. I didn't actually put a hole all the way through. There's a little plate behind the muffler you just put a hole through. It's supposed to give better airflow or something. My dad has the same bike, and he actually has a jetted carb and exhaust, all that stuff. But he doesn't really go much faster than me. He goes maybe a mile an hour faster than I do, and with him being a bigger dude and having more weight, he actually is slower than me um, on takeoff. Um, so this is going bye-bye. I'm gonna relieve it for this Sunday race just to see, just because well, not just to see, just because I don't have time to finish the motor that is going on it, and I want to add some other stuff to this. Go Power Sports makes a load of parts for this machine: a front suspension kit, a rear suspension kit, which I want to get both, a torque converter, a plate for the torque converter, a plate for the motor which is going on it, which I will show you in a minute. So yeah, we're gonna see how this does. I think this is gonna be what you want. Oh, I've seen a lot of guys on if you look at check out Misfits mini bikes. They race, I believe, in Georgia, oval tracks. Because this is gonna be an all-around race rig. It's gonna be drag racing, trail racing, enduro racing, oval racing. It's going to be really difficult to do all of that in one bike, and I'm not going to be super competitive in all of it, but I'm going to be competitive enough where I should have a little bit of fun with it. The main focus, though, is oval style racing. So, motors. This is the motor. It is a Honda Gx160 motor. The size of it's perfect because the size of it. I love the 160, but if you add billet parts, you add the high compression stuff, all that goodies that I have over here. I got an aluminum flywheel right here from Dyno Cams. New head gasket, 22 millimeter carb Mikuni. I got a cam here. We got a new head here. We got valve springs, 26 pounders. I had a billet rod. This is my first time building a motor, and I'm going to show you the mistake that I made is I over tightened my billet rod. Snap. So, good news though, in a way, this rod is longer than the stock rod. I don't know if that's going to be an issue. I didn't know that. I thought all rods were the same, but no. They make a stock billet rod, and I think that's what I'm going to go with. It's a little bit cheaper. It's like $79. This was like an $85 rod, and I just blew it. Some people say I could take, like, maybe my dad was saying I could weld this, but that's pointless because then you could get weld on this and it won't sit right. And I have a little flux core. I have a little electric 110 welder. It ain't gonna work. You could take a pair of channel locks and get it out. I tried that for a couple hours and then I got frustrated and I said fuck it. So even then, I over tightened it so much that I bet I damaged the threads in there too. So I think this rod is Kaputski's, and it didn't even have a chance to get in a motor. So I learned that lesson. I was using this old style torque wrench, and I wasn't counting, and you're supposed to count to 170 every 20, and I didn't do that. So I'm gonna get a better torque wrench, the one that clicks every time it clicks. You're at 20. That way, this won't happen again. So, but yeah, that's just the update on that. And we'll film this race coming up with this bike. And yeah, that's really all that's going on, guys. So appreciate like, follow, comment, subscribe. Yeah.